Hey, Angela, girl.
Hi, Tasha. It's so great to be here.
Thank you all for joining us tonight on the first empowerment chat of 2024. You guys rocked it out with me last year. Thank you for coming to season 2, episode 1. Tonight, we're going to get into shifting your mindset and your money, honey. And we're going to talk about the coin. We getting in your business. We're going to get in your pocketbook, okay? So y'all just come on in the room. Thank y'all for watching the live. And thank you to everyone that's watching the replay. I'm so super duper excited to have, listen, y'all. This is Miss Money Powerhouse right here, Miss Angela White, y'all. So for those of you that do not know me, I am Natasha Rivera. I am the creator of this group, Be Free Society. I am a lifestyle strategist, and I help women unapologetically redesign their lives, their health, and well-being through faith, freedom, and fitness. So thank you guys for being here. Invite your friends. Go on and share this out. Get them on in here. Come on in, and let's have some good old time tonight. So Miss Angela is here with me. Miss Angela is a retirement readiness coach, and I'm going to give her the mic real quick so she can introduce herself, because I believe that no one can introduce you better than you can. Go ahead, Miss Angela. Take the mic, girl.
I am just so grateful to be here with you guys on this evening. I would just can't say thank you enough. This is such an honor and a privilege to be here with you. And so for those of you who don't know me, yes, I am the Angela White, and I am your favorite retirement readiness coach. And so my business and what I do is I help women that are over 40 to get themselves financially set in their firm and to build a firm financial foundation so that they can retire ready and they can retire right. So that is what we do over there in Secure Her Financial Consulting.
Absolutely. Come on now. Yes. Come on, that's what we do over there. Hey, Ebony. Yes. Hey, girl. Listen, y'all didn't tell me. Y'all did not tell me about red lipstick. I don't know how to act, y'all. Nobody told me about the red lips, honey. Angela, Ebony said hello.
Hello, Ebony.
Hey, Shanta.
Oh, I see Shanta.
You can't tell me nothing with this red lip, baby. You can't tell me nothing, okay? So thank you, Shanta. She said we look amazing. Thank you so much. So thank you all for being here again. I like to go into how I met my guests when they all come on to talk, to chat it up with me. So Angela and I actually met through, we were in a coaching program together. Yes. And it was a year-long program. And I phased out earlier because I started sooner than she did. And that's how we met. So we were coaching students together, and that's how we met. And we just linked. And it was what, Angela, about a year and a half ago?
Yes. Just a little over a year now. Yes.
Yep. So we're just making connections along the way. And I'm so excited that she's here because she is a wealth of knowledge, of knowledge. She's going to really help y'all get your pocketbooks together and those bank accounts and all those things. So the first thing I want to talk about is mindset. Like, what even is the mindset? Like, what is that, coach? What's the mindset, Natasha? Your mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. It's all your tubes, all your attitudes, that attitudes that you, guys, first, we are using StreamYard. So please give StreamYard permission so that we can see your actual name and your face, your beautiful face, so that we can greet you by your name instead of saying, hey, Facebook user. So we are using StreamYard, and hello to everyone that's joining again. So it's the established set of attitudes by you. By me, by Angela, by everyone watching, right? So how do you even get to that space? Your mindset is formed by habits of past experiences. Absolutely. That's how you get that mindset. And some people will become so locked in to that old former self and that mindset. I call it stinking thinking, right? I don't know about you, Angela.
Yes, absolutely.
It is. Some people get locked into it. I've been guilty. And it becomes a poverty mindset. As we all are.
Yes.
Right. And it becomes like a poverty mindset. And a poverty mindset is when you live in scarcity and in fear that what you have is not enough.
Right.
And we're going to break that today with the information
Abs-
and the seeds that we're going to sow tonight. We're going to help you break free from that and shift your mindset and shift your money, because your money ain't going to change if your mindset remains the same.
that absolutely.
What you got to say, Miss Angela? What you
Absolutely, man. Look here. Look, you have said it all. That is worth. I mean, worth all the money in China. I'm telling you, because if you don't get your mind right, you can't get your money right. Absolutely, you can't do it. When we come into the mindset that we have, it comes from how we were raised. We hear those sayings that we when we were growing up. Money don't grow on trees, or all those little sayings that we used to hear in our household, and those are the things that form the mindset that we have. And so when we keep those mindsets, then it puts us in a box, feels like we're in a box, and we're unable to think outside of the box to be able to do things to enhance ourselves, enhance our money, enhance our skill sets, and enhancing our skill set. That is what helps us to gain more money. So we absolutely have to take a hold of our mindset and make those changes. That means us, saying those affirmations. That means us reading those books that we need to read. That also means us getting into the word, because many of the things for our mindset are right in the word.
Come on, word.
Okay. So right in that Bible, that Bible tells us, write the vision, make it plain. That's our mindset. And so when we get a hold to those things like that, that changes how we move, how we walk, how we talk. And in those things, that's what creates the wealth that we have in our lives. Absolutely.
I love that. I love when you said in the affirmations books,
Yes.
because leaders read, right? And if you want to
Absolutely.
lead your household financially, you have to get in the books. And some people don't like to read. So let me
Mhm.
help y'all out real quick. If you don't want to pick up a book and turn pages, personally, I love turning pages. I love the way pages feel on my fingers, right? There are plenty of audiobooks.
Mhm.
You got plenty of free audio apps. You can download them. You can go on these audio sites and just download, and while you're riding or while you're working or whatever, just pop it on. If you're
Mhm.
sitting in at home working in your home office, if you work from home, or if you work outside of your home, pop it on. Feed your spirit something that's going to help you in the long run. So I love that you said that, Angela. And the word the word. So you said affirmations.
Mhm.
What's like some of the affirmations that you say over your finances? Like, do you say them daily? Is it like a weekly thing? Like, and what if you want to share? Like, but what would you
Oh,
give when
absolutely,
coaching
absolutely.
clients?
So
Like,
when I am, one of the things, just this past week, I did a no spend challenge with my group, and it was just a week long, and so we were looking at some of the essential and non-essential spending habits and things like that. And so in one of those days, I left them with a few affirmations for them to take along with them, that they can carry on outside of moving forward, after the challenge. And I'm talking about speaking those things over themselves that they want to see in their lives, that they are money magnets, that they are the ruler over their finances, that they are successful in managing their money. So those things like that, if we speak those things into an existence, those are the things that we bring to fruition. So we definitely have to speak those things over ourselves. And I know when we first start out with speaking affirmations and stuff, they're kind of awkward. But I want to ask the people, get those stickies, put it up, in your bathroom, put it up, in your car, put it around places, because to remind you of things, that so that you remind yourself of who you are, might remind yourself of whose you are.
okay,
And so when you speak those things to yourself, then that's going to lend to you becoming that person. Because I also believe that we are who we become. We have to become the thing that we want to be. So
You
yes,
get me
speaking those
fired
things
up.
over ourselves, every day. If we put them out there to remind ourselves, then it becomes more of a habit, and then we'll do them more on a daily basis without even thinking about it.
I love that. So, girl, you got me hype over here. I can't, I don't know who you are, but it says you are on fire. Well, thank you very, very much. And thank you for being here. Listen, you just said all the things. I'm a firm believer on speaking it until you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's awkward when you're making these affirmations, but you have to say it. Your confession is your possession. I say that
Absolutely.
all the time. Like you speak a thing and it is so. So you cannot have a poor man mindset. You can't have that poor man mentality. You can't have that poor man talk, because exactly what it is. So a man think, so is
So
he.
is he. That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
So you got to be very mindful of what you release, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
you're releasing that you're poor, when you're releasing that you lack, or when you release from your mouth that it's never going to change, this is just the way it's always been, things are never going to get better, when you always pick defeat is what you're going to get. That's your
That's
confession.
right.
So it's dang sure your possession, right?
Yes,
So you got to
absolutely.
have to shift your mindset. When you shift your mindset, you can shift your speech. It's
Mm-hmm.
here. What's here comes
Yes.
out here, because
Here.
that's how you
Yep.
feel. It's a heart thing.
Right.
It
Yes,
starts
because
here.
what you
Yes.
speak, and then that's what controls the actions that you take. Because if your mind ain't right, then you speak to those negative things. So that's not gonna draw you to that action.
Not at all.
And so if you speak those positive things, then that's gonna make you take a certain action. And once you take that action, then that's when it's gonna get you that result. But if you don't speak the right words, then you're not gonna take the correct actions. And absolutely, when you speak those negative words, then you're gonna take negative actions, and you're gonna get the results, but it's not
Yeah.
gonna be the results that you desire.
Right. So
Absolutely.
speak it, like I say, and I'll do the affirmations, and I have done the ugly snot crying. When you're trusting and believing God for a thing, and even if it come out of financial situations, it's a lot, and you really gotta say it until, even if you don't believe, you gotta pray, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. You know he can do it. You know that he can do it through you, but you also have to make some changes in the way that you spend, because we
Mhm.
are called to
Absolutely.
steward the things that we have. Well, that's your time, your
Absolutely.
money, all the things. You have to learn to be a good steward. So increase is not coming if you don't learn to handle the pennies and the nickels and the quarters.
Absolutely. So again, when you feed that mind that projects what you says, that in turns speaks to the actions that you take, that those habits that you have,
Yeah.
so the habits that you create for yourself, that's you those things that you put into place that are going to lead to you having that financial success, that financial wealth. So taking the time to make that budget, to put that spending plan into place, to start that savings account. Because if you don't feel like, oh well, I'm never going to have, I'm never going to be, then why would you open a savings account if you don't feel like you could ever have anything? Nothing's going to ever come from it. It's never going to build. So if you don't feel that, then you're not going to take the action in order for you to go out there and get that. So again, it's a trickle effect. It's circular, and so you have to break that and put that word into play, as far as what does it speak, as to what it is that you want. And once you speak that into fruition, then again that is going to change your mind. So once you've come up with that, with what it is that you want. So I said, get mad. I want you to
That's
get
good.
mad. And
That's
when
good.
I say get mad, I want you to make a decision. And so when you make that decision, then you decide that, what, I'm gonna get my money in order. I am, fiscally and financially savvy. I am fiscally and financially successful. And so when you make that decision for yourself, then you become that person. And so in becoming that person, then you do the habits. You create the habits that that person would do. And that person in turn, sets that budget, and that person sticks to that budget. Is it always easy? No, it's not. We all fall short. We all do, but when we do, because we have put habits in place, we get ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and we get back to it.
I love it. And you said so much, Angela. That was all so good. Like, you're right. And you're talking, I'm taking notes because I don't want to forget nothing. So you said habits. And I love it because the more you do a thing, it become a habit. And then eventually your habits become a lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same way that's like my whole coaching style. You have to do it until it becomes your lifestyle. You can't do it for like 30 days and think that you got it, you nailed it. No, it don't work like that, boo-boo. You got to get up and you got to do it every day. And you said you got to take action.
Mm-hmm.
So what I heard you say is it's a faith thing, because faith without works is dead, right? That's what it say in my book anyway, right? So you have to take action. Action is a verb. Verb is on a move thing, right? So you move with a verb. So you have to take action. And I just love all those tips that you just gave. And you said, get mad. I made some of my best decisions when I was mad, because I'm like, when you feel like your back is against the wall, now I'm angry. Now I got this not crying and all the stuff and carrying on. Now I can go and bust a move.
Right. Because a lot of times when we're in that space of convenience, when we're in that space of complacency, when things are just going right, it's like, it's all right, then what is it that drives you? What is it that makes you make that next move? If you feel like, oh well, my bills are paid and food in the refrigerator, then what is it that's going to make you do something different? If it's something extra or something more that you want for yourself. Yes, it's good that the essentials and things are taken care of, but when we're talking about us women, we're talking about us wanting to get to those next levels, then we do have to get mad, and get mad at where we are, because we know that God has more for us. He has created us to be more. And so when we get mad, and I'm speaking on making that decision, because he's already told us what he has for us and what he wants us to do. But we get complacent in where we are, and and so either you're going to do what he has called you to do, or, in the time when you are comfortable, you're going to come out of that comfort zone and do what he's calling you to do, or he's going to take that from you to make you go and do what he's calling you to do.
Girl, hey, someone is saying, hey, queens, hey, beautiful, how are you? Angela, I'm gonna need you to stay out my business, okay? Because listen, I'm gonna tell you about that comfort zone. So if you guys have followed me for any length of time, I'm very transparent. I believe in just sharing, because my testimony and things that I've been through is the blueprint to help someone else
absolutely
get through it, or to avoid it. Even you said two things. You said with the savings, start the savings, but the one thing is leave the savings alone. The savings is to be savings, not to be tapping it in because you short over here. Now if it's for an emergency or thing like that, okay, go on and do what you got to do. But some people say tapping the savings because you want to go get your nails done. That's not what the savings is for. But back to my business that you was all of my business. In 2020, I left my employer. I left my employer with the state. I had a good old state cushy job as a supervisor, making really good money. And God took me out of there. And income gone. The income was gone. I'm married, so we still had income. Like we weren't down and out, but it put a little strain on the household, right? And you talked about the comfort zone. Because I was comfortable, even though I knew that, and I confess that was just an assignment and I wouldn't be there long. That was always my thing when I started working for the state 12 years prior. That is not my long term. I would not retire from there. That was always my confession. And look at me, right? So God took me out of that situation, and it was stressful because I was comfortable. Even though I was stressed out, I was comfortable. So he had to go shake me out of there, get me out of there, make me very uncomfortable, and then there's a loss of income.
Oh, well, I absolutely understand that because, like you said, we all have our stories that have brought us to the place where we are now, and so I found myself, after I, came, after I retired from the military, I found myself, right after, the 2008, 2009 bubble burst, not, getting employment. Everybody that came out before me, they were able to, transition straight from, going to the military, going into, other employment. And so they had, that income, and I found myself in a place where I didn't make that smooth transition. So I wasn't making, that income, the security that I had from being in the military, I no longer had that. And so for a 3-year time frame, it was very minimal of, income, but God, he kept me through all of that, and my boys will tell you that, and I will tell everybody and will sing it from the hilltops, that if it had not been for him, I would not be sitting here in this place where I am now, because no matter how you put them numbers together, they didn't add up, but he made it happen and made it come together. But that also put me in a position, like you said, for me to have that faith, for me to require me to lean on him in order for me to make it through that time frame. But at the end of that 3 years, when he put me in a place to shake me up, like I said, either you gonna do it or he gonna do it. So when he put me in that place to shake me up, and when I got that call from that hospital and told me that my son was in the hospital, I was in Missouri, he was in Florida, and I didn't have the means or the money to be able to get there to him. Oh, okay, that was the wake up. You ain't got to tell me no more. And so though there are things that happen in our lives that's going to make us mad. That's, what we're going to have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And so I made a decision that day that I was going to get up and get myself together. And so that's why my focus is, for women over 40, where, they may have to, make that transition or, start over, at that age, but and know that it's not too late to make that transition, because, that's what I had to do, at that age.
Ooh, I feel like we have a similar story because, girl, I was denied unemployment. I was denied short disability. I was denied all the things. Never collected those things a day in my 20-something years of working ever. Denied. And I feel like those were doors that God was closing. And I know we're talking about finances, but when you talk about it, it's like, what got you to that point? Well, because I'm a good steward of what the Lord blessed me and my husband with, right? We had savings.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so this is going back. It all comes together because it's the Romans 8:28. It's all things for me. Okay?
Work together for the good of those. Yes.
All the things. Okay. So we had savings. And I'm a firm believer, and this is what we also taught. Thank you. So this is what we also taught our sons. You need to have at least 9 months to a year in savings, because if there's a rainy day or something happens, you are not going to be out in these streets looking crazy and suffering, right? So I love that you said that, but yeah, he had to shake me like an Etch-a-Sketch, and he shook me because I was comfortable, like I said, even though I had the savings, but I wouldn't be right here sitting before you guys. I wouldn't be here if he did not shake me out of my comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And I was stubborn.
Absolutely. And that's what got me through those 3 years was, like you said, the things that I had put in place prior to that day is what sustained me 3 years. 3 years I was able to sustain, for a 3-year time frame, but like you said, he, kind of shook it up. It was like, okay, yes, you did those things. You had your faith, but now I need you to go out and do what I've taught you to do, and to teach others to be able to do that, and then take it to the, to that next level. Because again, with those savings, it's not meant to keep us forever. We put it in place, and again, 3 years, I was able to, to live, with that, because of the principles that I teach. I was able to sustain. And so I know that, that's something, that we can do, but we have to, make that decision to make it happen. Absolutely.
You said something earlier, Angela, about breaking it. You have to break it. Like, mm-hmm. What does that look like? Like, because someone may not know, someone may really just still be in just in a way that they've never been taught how to save, never had a conversation about saving. Like, these are not things that I was raised learning about. Like, I grew up on welfare. Okay. I'm just going to be very, very, very honest with you guys. I grew up in the system. Yeah. So we were raised on food stamps and and a welfare check. And that was it. And WIC. So we didn't have money talks, because as soon as the money came, it was like it slipped through the fingers, because you had to wait they had to wait a whole month to get a check. And by the time they paid the bills and whatever, it was gone until another 30 days.
Yes.
Right. So these are not things that I grew up knowing about. So I love that you coach women over 40. I had to learn this school of hard knocks.
Yes.
I had to suffer and go do some things and all that stuff to get to the place where I had to shift my mindset. But I do remember when I was 10, this goes back to the affirmations you spoke about earlier. I said, when I was 10, I said a lot of affirmations when I was 10. 10 was my good year. I said, I will never be poor again. Mm-hmm. And that stuck with me. And I said, I would never be on welfare, because it was something that I experienced young and I did not like it. We didn't go on vacations. We didn't get to do things that, my husband and I do with our children, and things that you do with your children. We didn't do those things. We didn't do weekend things. It was homeschool church.
Right.
That was my life. It was boring.
Yeah.
And so no one taught us about money. So what does that breaking it look like? To me, it looked like my affirmation at 10. I will never be poor again, and doing everything in life to make sure I'm not poor again. Right? So what does that look like?
Absolutely. So, I think the breaking point, I think when you get to a point where, again, when you make a decision that that's no longer the life that you want to live, wherever it is that you are right now, you need to assess your situation, because, I always tell people, think about, when you got your navigation system. And if you're trying to get from where you are now to where you want to go, that point B, you always have the computer. It always asks you, can we use your current location? And so when it uses your current location, then you tell it yes, then it can map out the directions on how you want to get to that next place. So I would always tell anyone that comes in and and meets with me and they want to make a change in their financial situation is, let's sit down and assess and look at where you are right now. And then once we know where you are right now, then let's look at where it is that you're trying to get to. And then we can map out how we can get there. So, so when we're talking about where you want to go, what is that vision that you have for yourself? Because when you don't have a vision, you can never get there. If you don't have a goal, how can you hit a goal or a target if you don't have one? And so those are the things. It's one, assess where you are right now. And then two, establish for yourself, where is it that you want to get to, and, once you know that goal that you want to meet, once you have that vision, then I can get you anywhere that you want to go. It's going to be on you as far as how long it's going to take you to get there. Absolutely.
That is so good. Assess your situation. So like a money GPS, your financial.
Absolutely.
I love that so much. So I believe that you have to like mentally arrive before you can physically show up. And it goes back to mindset.
That
Everything
vision.
is mindset.
Yes.
Every single thing is mindset. And you have to have a made up mind, like you were saying, that this is not my end. This is the situation now. But this is, like you said, what's the vision? So you also said something earlier, what drives you? And I want to bring that back because I'm asking everyone watching, what drives you? What is your vision? Where do you want to be in 5, 10, 15 years financially? And not just financially, but you may not want to retire from your job. I was fully vested when I left the state, and look at God, because I said I wasn't going to retire from there. I'm fully vested, so my pension is just sitting there collecting interest. So when I'm of retirement age, they can still gonna pay me some money, but I'm not retiring from there. Again, it goes back to those affirmations. You have to declare things, speak it until you see it. And yes, someone here in the comments is saying faith without works is dead. And that's what we said earlier. Right. Faith without works is dead. And you know, without faith, we can't even please God. We can't even please him without faith. Our faith is beautiful to him. And we have to really steward. I can't get past that enough. We have to steward our money well.
Absolutely.
We have to steward it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself on this hamster wheel, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then you robbing Paul.
Absolutely. You know, and that's why, you know, every month I go out there in my group and I remind them to go and create that budget. You know, create that budget so you can tell your money where to go. Ooh. Instead of at the end of the month wondering where it went.
Tell your money where to go. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never done a budget. Now get on me. I'm gonna do it now.
You about to get it. You about to get it.
I have never done a budget, but I save. Like, you know what I mean. So like my system works for me, but I've not physically sat down and put one together. Yep, I'm telling on myself. You guys see, this is how you break free. You gotta tell on yourself. I don't tell on myself publicly.
But you know what? And I have a lot of people that have some apprehension around creating a budget because people, again, it's a mindset. Because people, you know, some people feel like if I do a budget, then I ain't gonna be able to do this. I ain't gonna be able to do that. It's gonna constrict me. But it's the total opposite. You know, and so for those that, you know, have the apprehension about budgets, okay, well, then let's call it a spending plan. You know, we're going to give it another spin. We're going to name it a spending plan to make everybody comfortable. If you don't like budget, then let's create that spending plan. But what that it does is empowers you. It actually empowers you with your money. Yeah. It doesn't hinder you. It actually gives you the power because you are telling your money where it's going to go. Because your money should be working for you. Yeah. Okay. And so when you tell your money where to go, if you do it right, then when you budget and you know, do your essentials, you know, you got to pay for your place to live, you know, your transportation, you know, your utilities and things like that, the things that we have to do. Then once you've taken care of that, you know, you put a little savings to the side, we doing a little investing. Then what we have left over, then you can be free and knowing that, okay, everything else is taken care of the way it's supposed to be because I didn't sit down, you know, and I mapped it out and you know, because, you know, I've mapped it out and I see, okay, I got $200, $300, $400 left over. Man, if you want to go out there and buy $300 worth of bubble gum, by all means, go ahead on. But guess what? You can do that because you've created your spending plan and you can do whatever you want with that. But you have budgeted in your essentials and things that are taken care of. You've done what you wanted, you know, what you are set to do as far as your savings and your investment goals. If you're already meeting those things and what you have left over, then you have nothing to worry about. No guilt, because a lot of people find themselves feeling guilty. Oh man, if I go out there and I buy this shirt or I buy them pants, next week it'll turn around and I'll need some money for this or for that, you know, this will come up and that'll come up. So then they feeling guilty about going out there and doing for themselves. Yeah. But if you got that budget and you taking care of the savings and and when emergencies come up, then guess what? It's an emergency. Then you go out there and you can tap into that emergency fund. So when you go out there and spend that money because you've done what you're supposed to do, then there is no guilt.
Yeah.
There is no
No
guilt.
guilt. I love it. You said tell your money where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to, I'm not apprehensive about a budget. It's just, I just go sit down and do it. And I want to be honest with you. I've always wanted to do a budget. So
Yes.
you have lit the fire for me. I'm going to do a budget. And I love that when you said that, tell your money where to go.
I see someone, put in the comments about tithing and offering. And
Oh yeah,
absolutely, yes, absolutely, that is a kingdom principle.
it
Absolutely.
is.
So we
Good.
never take away from that. And I believe that when we do those things, then that further blesses our finances too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm okay touching on that tithe and offering, and I don't want, everyone does not go to a organized building for church,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I don't want people to think that, oh, well, I don't go to the church, so I don't give tithes and offering. You can sow your time.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a charity that you want to donate to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna say, I've said for years, this is in the word, you store up in the storehouse.
Yes.
And so where the need is when you feel like you're going to
So,
draw from,
mm-hmm.
you go ahead on you invest in there. That's
Mm-hmm.
the storehouse. There are nonprofits out here. There are all kinds of places out there that you can sow into. So many people are giving to celebrities and cool, go and do that if you have the extra money, like after, like what you said, you have your budget, everything's accounted for. Now you can go spend the $300 on bubble gum if you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then go buy the tickets. But if you can't afford the stuff, then you don't need to be investing your money into them, because what's going to happen is you can't draw from that well.
Yes.
You're investing in
Absolutely.
celebrities and things that you will never get a return on.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
be mindful, steward your money well. So yes, while you're out here giving and sowing and your time, yes, your time and so on. So your time and your gifts, all of this right now, we sowing time.
That's right.
We can't get this back. Time is
Right.
our most
Valuable.
valuable commodity. We cannot get this time back. But we didn't see a robbery to come and pour into you guys tonight, and I'm getting blessed too. So yes.
Absolutely.
Someone said financially where God leads you. Yes.
Yes.
See God and all the things.
Yes.
All the things. Ask him. Let him navigate you where you need to put that money, because where he tell you to put it, that's where the blessings is coming for. You want to get an ROI on it, right? You want to get an ROI on your investment. So yes. Hey, I don't know who's saying hey, because we can't see you. You got to give oh, that's the wrong one. You got to give StreamYard permission. So, but hey. Thank y'all for being here. So I was taking notes and stuff like, let me see where I left off at, because you were just dropping all the good gems and like you said principles. You said it's the principles like that you give your clients. Like, is that something that you can give us a couple like tips or a couple steps on that on here tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So
I want a little something.
Absolutely.
What that look like?
Right. So, like I said, first and foremost, I my group this year in my Facebook group, we're taking a journey this year. And because I needed a reset. And so I wanted to take my group on a journey with me on my reset. And so, we started out this year with setting those goals. So again, I implore everybody to, one, we set out to, do a review of, our year past, where, so you can assess where you are. Okay. And then once you assess where you are, where you've been, then set that goal, set that vision for yourself. Okay. And then once you've done that, then we looked at, we set that budget. We set a year-long budget, but of course, we're going to revisit that budget on a monthly basis. So again, we're reminding ourselves every month, but we set that we set that goal, we might have had a goal, for a savings goal for the year. We might, have a house, that we want to purchase, whatever it is that goal that we have for the year. But we're gonna put that in our budget, in our plan for the year. So you want to make sure that you do that, okay? And then the next thing that we do is we set up, habits. We put those habits in place, like I said, revisiting that budget every year. We last month we looked at our spending, and so I implored everyone to go and pull out their last 2 or 3 months of their bank statements. Yes, yes, baby, pull them out.
You stepping
Go
on toes. You gotta get out people business now.
Look, don't pull them out. Pull them out, pull them out, pull them out. Because I want you to see where your money is going. I've had, some people that went out there and looked at, forgot that they had subscriptions that they've been had that they ain't been using. And so that's money is going out and that you don't even realize it. So take a look at that. And then, on last month, we took a look at, our spending. And so again, that's what we, looked at, where our money was going. We looked at, essential and non-essential spending, some things that we're spending money on that may not be all that essential, for us. And so, and in this month, in the month of March, we're on our savings sprint. And so, anyone that joins our group this month, they jump in on that. We're going to be looking at different ways that we can save this month, different places that we should be saving, different type of savings accounts, that we have. And then, we're going to go into the next month, into April. We're going to be looking at working on starting to get ourselves out of debt. And so, so again, those are things that you put those. We're going to stack it up this year, because my goal is once we build that firm financial foundation, then we can look at putting things in place for everyone to be able to retire right and to retire ready. And so I'm talking about looking at what you're going to need in order for you to go into retirement. What kind of income do you need to be able to go into there? What type of insurances are you going to need? What is that cost going to look like for you? What might your Social Security, if it's still here, what that might look like for you. We're going to, take a look at that. Again, as far as your health is concerned, how does your health affect your retirement? So you need to look at that. So that's something that we'll be visiting here later on in the year. We'll look at, what type of insurance do you need, life insurance, health insurance, those type of things. We're gonna be visiting that, before this year is out. We'll also be looking at, what type of documents, wills, trusts, what do you need, for that to go into your retirement. Okay. And then, what type of, power of attorneys and things like that, your financial power of attorney, your medical powers of attorney. So those are different things that we're going to be visiting over this next year, because I want everyone to kind of look at those things, have a clear understanding of what is going to be needed when they go into their retirement. So when you do go out, then you know that everything is taken care of. And when you out there traveling and you on the other side of the world, you have nothing to worry about. Everything is in place.
I love
Everything is
that.
taken care of.
I love
Absolutely.
that you are a hub.
Mm-hmm.
You are a hub. And I keep seeing you're a hub. You're a one-stop shop. You can help people with the full package. Like, you are literally it. They come to you and they will get it all. I absolutely love it. And I do believe that a budget holds you accountable. And I think
Yes.
that's a reason why some people run from the budget, because it makes you face your spending habits, and
Yes.
it tells on you. Your
Mm-hmm.
budget tell on you.
Yes.
You
Yes.
tell, like, because some people are, hey, someone said, hey, y'all. And some people are emotional spenders. I was an emotional eater, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a moment where I was like, I'm about to go retail therapy. I'm about to go. But there are people out there that,
absolutely,
man, they are mad or they're having a moment and they are in those stores just racking up a bill. They don't care. They ain't got the money. They're charging on the card, and no one stopped. And I believe too, Angela, like stop shopping with cards. Like take the cash, because I think you won't spend as much.
Absolutely,
Because your
absolutely.
funds is, when you see them that little stack getting low, you're gonna
Yes,
stop.
when you got to depart from it, you will. But that card, there is no feeling to it. You're right. You don't feel nothing. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But somebody said they got retail therapy, they get buyer's remorse. Listen, I get buyer's remorse before I even buy. I think about buying something, and I'm like, I don't. I shop on a need want basis. If I need it, or if I ask myself, I literally ask myself if I need it or if I want it. And most of the time, it's a need, because I'm not a big shopper. I'm not a big shopper. Again, I share with you guys how I grew up, right? I grew up in poverty. So I take care of the things that I have. Now, I like nice things, but I like things that are on sale. So I'm going to hit that clearance rack first.
Yes.
But yeah, retail therapy, buyer's remorse is all going back. I've had shopping carts full of stuff in the middle of the store and put it all back. And my husband looked at me like, you really going to do this? Yeah, because I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I feel real good. I'm like, well, just kept my money in the bank. But again, I had to go through some things in life to get to that point, because I'll never forget the moment. I was like late 20s. I was like married for a couple of years. I think we had like 2 sons at that time. We had bought our house. I bought my first house at 21, and I had just bills and babies, and I was married at 21. And I went to the grocery store, and I had like $350 worth of groceries. And when I swiped the card, it didn't go. And I was in the grocery line, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen again. And so again, I told you guys, like, I wasn't raised learning how to save. So I learned these things on the go. And I was like, so we gotta do things a little different. But we did have 3 babies, and back then we really didn't have. We really were robbing Peter, paying Paul, and we were robbing Paul. Because he was like, give me that money back. I need that money. Give me that. I need it. And so these are things and experiences that I have gone through. So when I was in a position with my last employer, I was able to, save up and just make sure that certain things just didn't happen again. Life is going to life, but God is always going to God.
Yes.
And that's why you got to be mindful where you store up. You be mindful where you sow into and where you put your money, because if you can't get an ROI on it when you are in a tough place, then you did not store your money well. So yeah, I had to go through a lot of life stuff. But I do believe that the budget does hold you accountable. And if I had a budget back then, I wouldn't have just been swiping. Like, I was like swipe queen. I would say that to him, like, you the swipe queen. I'll have no cash. I just got a card. And you're clueless, because you're like, as long as it go through, it's okay.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, and that's where, one of the things that I do, with my, with my clients is I do start them on cash. We look at places where we can use cash. I come from the Dave Ramsey era, and so, that's definitely where I started my journey, and so I do, practice some of those principles, some of those.
Yeah.
But I absolutely believe that, you don't feel it if you're not using that cash. And so, yes, there's some places where, you're going to use, you're going to, do automatic, withdrawals, and then you're going to have a card for some things. But I have some tools to help with that. But for the most part, we are using cash when we're going, when we're going in that grocery store, we're using cash. When we're going, when we're talking about shopping for our clothes and things like that, we're using cash. So those things like that, we put things in place to, again, so that we feel it. Because if you don't, you swiping it and you look and you come around and you be like,
crumbs.
Where'd it go?
Crumbs.
Where'd it go? And what's funny is I have when we did the challenge where, I had everybody to do their budget and to actually look at, okay, how much money do they, what's your income that you make, and then what are all your expenses? And when you tally up your expenses and they subtracted it from how much income, they were surprised
Poor.
at how much money it said that they had left over. And it's like
Oh,
they don't see it.
shocked.
They're shocked. It's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to have $1,000 left over.
More money at.
Exactly, because that swipe, that $15 at McDonald's here, that $20 at Pizza Hut there, those things add up, and so it doesn't even look like you have that money. But
yeah, what they say, we got food at home, and I eat, and that's why y'all be seeing me posting all my food. I'll be cooking my breakfast, and some days I'll be like, listen, I just want to stop and get some, but I will check my Chick-fil-A and see if I got some redemption. I'm gonna get some for free. But if it's, I need the free 99. So yes, it's a shame that we're not taught early.
Absolutely.
This is Brittany here. So she said auto pay. Auto pay used to get her, because I've never done auto pay. I've never done any of those things, but I was just swipe off of a card. Like, I would swipe my card so much it would break. I had to go get a new card. Like, that's a problem. Swipe,
but auto pay is not a bad thing. You just have to know how to do it. I mean, there's definitely the way, to do that, because like I said, it's I kind of, take a hybrid approach, so there's definitely a way to use that auto pay where it's beneficial to you. But you're right. If you do auto pay and you got all this stuff coming out, but you still going into that account, dipping out of it, then yeah, that can definitely be a problem.
Yeah, leave that money alone. Leave that money alone. Let us say I have been on both sides, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not a good place.
Yeah, she said you forget that the auto pay is coming out and still be swiping. Yes, that's what it gets you. Yeah.
Now you got all these fees on top of that. So
exactly.
When I got out the hole, it was like we paid off all the debt. Mm-hmm. And so I have a debt-free life, which I love, other than like mortgage, of course, and you have a car note. Mm-hmm. But all the other stuff, I don't have no credit cards. Like, I've learned. When I tell you I had to learn the hard way, I learned the hard way. But nonetheless, I learned.
Yeah.
And so now we have to use a card. We don't charge more than we can pay back in full in 30 days.
Right.
I'm not paying nobody to use your card. You can pay me. Actually, give me those free gift cards for using your card.
Exactly. And that's how you learn, to use it, but, to get points and all those kind of things. But that comes later. Once you've learned the disciplines, once you've learned the habits, I would never start nobody out there. That's when you get to a place where you're more savvy in your spending and you can actually handle that, because everybody can't handle to get those cards back to do that.
No. Well, like I said, y'all, it took me a while to get here. So don't y'all, like, she just listen to Angela. Don't do what I do if you can't do what I do. Okay, don't do it because y'all want to be in the line and swipe your car and it don't go through. That's embarrassing. I was so embarrassed, but I learned. It's like, you just gotta stop. You just gotta stop. Like, it was just like, we needed groceries. It really was for groceries, but it was just wild stuff when I was in my late 20s. And so I'm 46 now. So that was over 20 years ago. So I learned over the years, but I'm going to do a budget. You're going to be so proud of me. I am going to do a budget.
Going to do a budget. My job here has been done. My job here is done.
So we are getting down to the end. Gosh, we've been talking for almost an hour now. We're going to open it up for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, for myself or for Angela, if you want to link up with Angela, this is how you can find her. Please go to her Facebook group. She just shared a lot of things that she's working with in her group, and she's giving this stuff away like for free, 99. So go on over there, y'all, at her private Facebook group, Successful Money Principles on Facebook, and go and catch these gems. She is having an amazing time over there getting the people together. I'm actually in the group, and it's nice. She does great things over there, and I'm excited about what you're doing this year too. I'm excited about the things you're doing because I'm gonna participate in some because I'm always looking for ways to be better. I don't know it all.
No,
So
that's
you guys have the floor is open to questions, and
yeah. So I see we got one there.
we got
All right. So
okay.
she said, "What is the best way to pay off credit card debt?" Well, I'm glad you asked. So, in April, I'm actually going to be doing a debt challenge. So if I would love to have you to come over and join my group to get engaged in that challenge. But what I would say it's going to be up to you because I teach the principle of the debt snowball. And so with the snowball, that's basically where you're putting your debts in the order of the smallest to the largest, starting with, paying all the minimum balances on all of your cards, and then whatever extra money that you have, putting it on that first debt until you get it paid off, and then making your way down. So that's the overall of it. But I would love to have you in our challenge on next month for that.
That's amazing. Here's another one for you.
Okay, so what questions should I be asking or what I should be researching to prepare for retirement? The question that you should be asking is, how much money are you going to need in retirement? How do you want to live in your retirement? And what is that going to take? What is that going to look like for you? What is it that you want to do? I mean, it's going to make a difference whether, you just want to, be comfortable and be bills or whatever, and you don't plan on doing too much in retirement. You just want, to be able to take care of your essentials. Or do you want to be traveling in your retirement? Or do you want to be, traveling around the world? Exactly. So it's really going to depend on what type of lifestyle that you want to live in your retirement. That's going to dictate, how much money that you're going to be need to have coming in. And so again, that's something that I work with clients to make that determination. You want a life? Yes, honey. Yes, a
Yacht
yacht
life.
lifestyle. I want that too. So we can get that lifestyle together. Absolutely, absolutely.
Listen, hop on over. Listen, y'all, hop on over. Seriously, go on over and follow Angela right now on her Facebook group, Successful Money Principles. It's amazing in there. And you guys are just getting a glimpse today, but to be in her group and to be led by her and all of her expertise, and I call her a money powerhouse. She know her stuff. And I'm just so grateful that she did this tonight. She, came on to do this for me, with me, and for y'all. Hop on over there, y'all. Go on to support Angela. Go on and catch those gems. You will not be disappointed. Angela, thank you. I think we got another comment in here. I love it. Y'all keep asking all the questions.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes. Someone said, I'll definitely be joining. Please join
Yes,
because
yes, yes, because we're doing our savings sprint. We're doing our savings sprint this month. So you definitely want to come jump on in this month because I absolutely believe that before we start, getting ourselves out of debt, we got to make sure that we have, at least a minimum savings account so that, because like she said, life is gonna life. And so while we're working on our journey to get out of debt, we want to have at least a minimum, savings, a savings account there so that if, your car break down, your tire goes out, you got able to, to get that taken care of and still be able to keep on, getting ourselves out of debt. So jump on into that's in on our page this month and, get in with that savings.
here's
Absolutely.
another one. How do you save for special occasions or trips?
Oh, that is called our sinking funds.
Speaking.
Absolutely. Sinking. Yeah, our sinking
Oh,
funds.
I
Yes,
like
yes.
that. These are
And
good
so
questions, y'all. Keep on coming. I love this. I'm learning.
yeah, so I'm trying to remember which week we're talking about saving sinking funds. So every Thursday I go live, and sinking funds is actually I can't remember if that's in week 2 or 3, but definitely look for that. But though that's our sinking funds that we do that because you have emergency funds and then you have your sinking funds. So if you come and jump on over there, you'll get some more gems on how to take care of that because we want, special occasions. We're talking about, Christmas and for trips. I got a trip coming up, next week going on a cruise, and so that sinking fund is what makes sure that when I go on that trip, when I come back, I don't come back with no debt from it.
I know that's right. This is good. Y'all asking all the good questions. When should I start saving for my child's education? This is a good one.
You can start from
right
now. Start that child's education as soon as you find out they coming. But many of them, once there's many different avenues that you can do to save for your for your child's education. You can start with 529 savings plan when they're born. You can start an investment account for them. You can even one of the things that I have learned over the last few years is even purchasing property and renting that property out. And so by the time that your child gets up in age, that property has matured, and the equity and stuff that you have in it can be used to fund their education. That's just another means of funds that you have for their education.
This is so good. This is so good. We have another one, Angela.
All right. So are there any bougie purchases we should avoid that are typically a big waste, like the expensive bags and shoes? You said it, expensive bags and shoes, and because my
talk about it.
My stance on that is, if you don't have enough money to keep in your purse at all times that you paid on that bag, then you don't need it. If you cannot have that money
broke
at all times,
you don't need that bag.
That's one. I absolutely believe that. And then also, I also look at them cars. Do you going out there and buying a brand new car, spending it, because as soon as you take it off the lot, it's going to depreciate 30, 40, 50%. I got a girlfriend, she bought a brand new car. She spent $80,000 for that car, and she ain't just went over a year, and it's only retailing right now for $40,000. $40,000. So that's 50% that she lost in that car. So again, those are things that that you want to look at. Is it really worth it?
I love that you said that. She said, "Okay, say it again for those in the back." I'm here for. Listen. I'm going to. She said, "I didn't think about cars." That's good. I have never, only once, have I purchased a brand new car. Everything else is like 3 years off the lease.
Mm-hmm.
But all of our kids, our three sons, when we bought their cars, we paid cash. And flat out, it was just a used car. We paid cash, so there was no. So but again, these are things that I learned over the years.
Absolutely,
and it's nothing that I was taught. School of the hard knock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just self-taught, and it's like a baby. You walk, you crawl, you run, and so but I would never buy a brand new car.
Yeah, I
will buy.
Right. And like you said, what you learn, you teach your kids. And so, I've taught my boys that. I got, one that'll be graduating from high school, and, his stance, he didn't want to go to college because he didn't want to be in debt. And I was like, well, but we could still go to college, so I didn't put that in his head so much. He's like, I don't want to be in debt.
Right. Well, he listened.
I didn't put it all in his head,
Of it.
And so, and then my older one, went on, went to college, paid off his college, saved up his money, and and looking, to purchase his first home. And so again, these are things that we teach our kids, because like you said, I didn't get taught that when I was growing up. I learned that, through years of reading and learning things, myself. I remember I was in the military. I was stationed in California. And I bought my first new car, and this was in 1992. And I bought my first little Chevy Cavalier. I thought I was doing something.
You did.
And look, I bought it was the cheapest car I could find. It was a stick, but I didn't know how to drive a stick. So I had to get my boyfriend to drive it home for me. This
You know
but
what?
look, but I bought the car, got the bank, and I had to go and when I went to make the first payment on it to write the check, girl, I didn't know how to write a check. Girl, I had wrote
That's
the check.
something
I signed
else.
it. Signed on the front of the check, the back of the check. I know. I know when them people got that check, they was laughing over there like, what is this?
It is just the uneducation of it all. Like you couldn't help it. You didn't know. And it's like it goes back to we weren't taught these things.
Yeah.
We weren't taught these things. I loved it that you instilled that so much in your child that he's like, I ain't gonna I want that. Mm-hmm. I know, like I knew we couldn't afford to send three children to school. Mm-hmm. And so when we moved here, it was on an act of faith and a prayer, a very specific prayer. Like, and I said, all three of my sons will go to school for free. And two of them have already graduated with their degrees debt free.
Yes.
Because we have what's called a seed program here in the state.
Okay.
So as long as you graduate from a high school here with a C average, you get like 2 to 4 years of free college. My sons didn't want to do that because they wanted to go here, there, and everywhere where they thought it was popular and not in the state. Already knowing that my prayer when we came here is for you to go to school and right. for these affordable taxes in tax-free state here, right? Mm-hmm. And they struggled, especially the oldest one, because he wanted to go where all the people were going. And we had to sit them down. We said, you know what? Listen, you know what's going to happen on the first day of school? He said, what? I said, everyone's going to be in the classroom learning. Mm-hmm. You know what's going to happen on the last day of school? And 6 months after, those people are going to start paying back their loans and you won't have one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And this is how I have to talk to my children. So we really have to be mindful as parents. What you know, you have to pass it down to your children, because I could have been a mom. And I told them, I said, I'm not signing on no line. I'm not signing for no loan. I would never co-sign for my child. Never. I'm not signing my name on nothing.
That's right.
I said, if it's not free 99, you're not getting it. Mm-hmm. You're not going. Don't ask me. Yep. And so they know that's how I rock. And now they come back and say, thank you, Mom. Yep. You knew. Yes, I did know.
Yeah.
And look at y'all, debt-free, 4 years of college, you got bachelors. And our last one is going through college right now. Yep. Same program. Yep. Tell me God ain't good when you, again, your confessions are your possessions. And when you speak it, it is so.
Yes.
And I've set my children up. We don't, they live here, and we say, you know what? Whatever debt you accumulate would not be accumulated in this house. When you leave this house, we have set you up. Because again, I told y'all how I was raised. No one taught me. So we had to pass it down to our son. So whatever they accrue when they leave this house, it's all on them, because we instill the good financial morals and all that stuff in them.
Absolutely. Because you know what? I threaten minds with bodily harm.
Oh.
Because look, because Tasha, when them kids, they go off to college, and them folks, they be up there with all them applications to get this credit card, get that credit card, all of that. And the kids go up there and rack up all that debt in college. And I told mine, I will kill you dead if you go up there and get any of the credit. I'm gonna tell you, my son, he'll tell you. I
know that's right. I know that's right.
My kid don't have no debt. Me and him, we have contests over who got the highest credit score, because that's
I like that stuff. That's fun stuff. I like that.
Stuff. So that's the kind of contest we have. Is that it? And so again, those are things we pass along, because we could pass along bad things to our children, because we could have kept that how we raised, we could have kept that going too, but we chose not to, and we chose to to carry on the good things to our children.
This person is wild right here. But if you want to laugh, I think that's Brittany. If I'm talking, oh my gosh, this is wild stuff. This has been so good. You guys have any more questions for us? If not, we're going to get out your way. We're mindful of time. Someone, oh yeah, she said yep. Like I think it's yep. That is Brittany. Thank you for your time. I hope that you really got some information, good information out of this. Follow me in my group, Be Free Society, on Facebook, and follow Angela in her private Facebook group, Successful Money Principles. Thank you guys. Angela, do you have anything to say in closing?
Well, I just want to thank you so very much for, allowing me to come on and speak with everyone today. This was absolutely wonderful. But I just want to implore everyone, to get mad, and make a decision, to change your financial status, to change your financial health. Because your health, your financial health is your financial wealth. And so, again, I hope to see you guys over in my group. And thank you very much for having me.
You are so welcome. Thank you. I love all of you guys. Share this out with your friends. It'll be here in the replay. The replay will be here in the group. It won't go away. Angela's also going to be uploading it in her group, so that they can watch it over there. Yeah, you guys just have an amazing week. Go crush your goals and just start doing something different. I love y'all. Have a good night. Later.
Bye bye.